Everyone, welcome back to another video of Daily LeetCode series. And today we will be going to solve group anagrams. So it's very similar to the valid anagrams we solved a couple days ago. But let's go ahead and read the directions. Given an array of strings, group the anagrams together. You can return the answer in any order. So if you see the example, you'll be able to tell that instead of valid anagrams where you compare two strings, in this case you need to be able to group each strings that are the valid anagrams. And a good way to do that is actually creating a data structure called a bucket, and what we're going to do, we're going to go through all the elements in the input, and we're also going to go one by one into letter, and we're actually going to get the ASCII number of each of these letters, right? So, and there's only 26 letters in the English dictionary. So what we're going to do, we're going to first initialize a bucket. No, we're not going to do that yet, but we're going to initialize a bucket later to, if we encounter a letter, like let's say E, we're going to subtract OR of E minus OR of A. And this would make sense because let's say A is 40 and E is 40, A, B, C, D, E, 44, right? So then it would be this would be 4, right? And that would mean that we would store in the bucket on the fourth. So a bucket would look like this when we first initialize it. We'd have 26 of these zeros, and we can see that ORD E minus ORD A is equal to 4. So in the fourth element, 0, 1, so it's going to be right here. Right here. We're going to increment this value by 1 because we encountered it. And if we see another E, we would increment it by another. And this is how we're going to basically compare each of these strings if they're anagrams. So, for example, if it's eat and T, they're all going to have the same buckets, right? Because they're going to have the same amount of, or the count of letters. And we will basically make a hash map that will store these buckets as the keys, and the value will actually be the string itself. And I'll get to it right now. So let's initialize our hash map, and I'm going to use a little bit of a Python library called default dictionary, and this means that instead of H maps, hash map, or dictionaries just in general, they would look like this, and the values would be a singular element, right? But if we initialize it in default dictionary, then the values will actually become lists by default. So that's how it's going to work, and we're going to first go through each element in the string. So this is how you do in Python for I in strs. So this would mean that, let's say for example, we have the input of this array, then we're going to go through eat, t, tan, ate, nat, bad. But we're going to go ahead and initialize our bucket here, because the reason why I'm putting this bucket here, I'll get to it later, but we want to initialize a bucket for every I, right? So every element like eat, we want a bucket for eat, bucket for t. So we're going to create new buckets for each one of these strings. And now we're going to go into singular letters. So for j in I, that would mean now we're accessing the letters of these words. So we'll be looking at J would be, if I is eat, J would be E, A, then T, right? And right here, we're going to now assign, we're going to calculate which letters belong into the bucket. So like I said before, we're going to assign ord of j minus ord of a, right? This will give us the proper order, or rather the correct placement based on the letter. So we're going to increment it by 1 because it's initialized by 0. And this will just go through the whole string and create a bucket for us. Now after this, what do we want to do? Now we want to create a key inside the hash map. So all we have to do for that is hmap tuple bucket, because actually in Python you can't have lists as keys. So you will make sure to turn this into a tuple. It's the same thing, except it's, you know, it has different characteristics, but in this case it will work fine. And we're gonna do dot append I, right? Because I is the string in this particular iteration. And that's basically all of the code, except we're gonna return hmap.values, and this is actually super handy because hashmap values is going to create a list among the values as well. So it will just generate this output on itself, by itself, and that's it. So we're going to go ahead and submit this code, and there we go, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.